Hi. I wanted to do a book review of a series that I've been seeing floating around on BookTube and that I actually recently got the chance to finish. It's a series that's on the National Public Radio or NPR's top 100 science fiction and fantasy books. Um, and it's the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. Like I said, I've seen it around BookTube quite a bit lately. Um, I was fortunate enough to just very recently be able to finish this series, and it is so good. It's action packed and very true to the history of revolutions and just all sorts of super fun kind of characters with a lot of quirk and personality and who are dynamic and they grow. So the first book is Mistborn. The second is the Well of Ascension. And the third is the Hero of Ages. As you can see, I have all of my copies in the kind of traditional science fiction, fantasy, mass market paperback kind of style. They're not all as pretty as some of the editions are, but I enjoyed them quite a bit. The series follows this young girl who's a street urchin. Her name is Vin, and she lives in this land where is kind of ruler and a god at the same time. It's said that he rescued the realm from what's called the deepness. And every night in this world, this mist kind of comes in and fills the world up. It's a really interesting kind of place to, I think, have grown up in. She's a street urchin, which really isn't allowed, and she's half noble and half what's called ska, which is essentially a slave class. And she's not really supposed to exist. So she kind of gets wrapped up in this kind of thieving crew where she realizes that she's what's called a Mistborn, which is she has powers. She can kind of push and pull on metal, kind of fly herself in the air, and she can push on people's emotions. With the right metals, she can see the future, which is a big part of it. And unbeknownst to her, decide to build up this revolution. And this is a slave revolution that's been kind of in the works for over 1,000 years. And in doing so, she, learns to embrace these powers, and she kind of has to go and infiltrate the noble class. And in the end, she really is working to establish a more equal regime, if that makes sense. Working to overthrow this kind of government, she inadvertently unleashes this terrible deepness back into the world and has to eventually fight it while simultaneously having to try to work to make that kind of ideal society. So it's very, very interesting. The characters are great. I'll tell you right now, my favorite, aside from Vin, who's just so great, is Ellen, who is her romantic interest throughout the series. He's this really great kind of quirky guy with, he's born to one of the highest, not just so much fun. He knows he's kind of like making people mad, but he's like, whatever, I'd rather spend this ball reading. And throughout the series, both he and Vin really grow, and it's really fun to see them struggle with who they want to be and who they have to be. I will say they're a little bit lengthy. They're about 600 pages a piece. They're quick reads, but it is a little lengthy if that's not what you're used to. I would say they probably took me about 3 days each. But yeah, they're really great. They're published by Tor Fantasy if you have any trouble, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding them at all. I got mine at Barnes & Noble for pretty cheap. They're about $7 a piece. So yeah, let me know if you've read them. Let me know what you thought. let me know if you love them as much as I do, and if you want to geek out with me, I'd be happy to do so. All my information is in the down bar, as well as links on Amazon where you can get these books.